Hello there. So, welcome to episode 3. Since the last episode, I've actually managed to get quite a lot done. I've been working with GPIO input on these ports here, all using wiring pi, because to me that seems the simplest way of doing it, although I have had many difficulties so far. Although I've got a lot further than this, I think I'm probably going to cover analog to digital in a later episode, so I can keep the episodes short. So what I've got set up here is a simple button, and when you press the button, like the LED lights up. Now, this is required absolutely no programming, and it just uses the voltage thing. And you can see from the button, although you can't really see it, it's being powered in a corner, and then the output is from the opposite corner. So that works perfectly there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the wires around and wire it in so I can use it with a little program I've written in C++ on the Raspberry Pi. So here you can see I have my little setup. This grey wire here is connected to the GPIO pin 0 for wiring pi. Then this goes into a button, and then this itself goes into the 3.3 volt output. So the circuit itself, when the button is pressed, is 3.3 volts. So now I'll just go on to my example on the screen. So now I'm on the screen here. You can see I've gone into my working directory just there, and I've listed all the current files there. So the one I want to run is the one up there, button test. So I'll just type that in. And then run it. Now there is a bug where, oh, here you go. This happens periodically, where it just prints out very quickly. I'm not quite sure why this happens. Generally, fiddling about with it tends to fix it. I'll just try it again. There you go, that's worked. So now, I'll press now. Now. So as you can see, whenever I press the little button on our diagram, it adds a little, well, it tells you how many times I've pressed it. So I've pressed it 17 times so far. I'll press another time. 18, 19. There you go. Oh, now you see here is where it's bugged out. So it does bug out periodically. Not quite sure why that is. Hopefully I'll try and find a fix to that. But for the moment I've spent quite a lot of time on it and I still don't know what's wrong with it. So I'll just flip into a screen recording and I'll show you what the code of this is. So this is the code that makes the button test work. In it you can see I have standard headers. This GPIO wiring pi.h, although it's not necessary to have the GPIO on the Pi, I have it on my computer because it helps Xcode to recognize where the libraries are. Then this bit just prints out to say that the program started. Then the next bit sets up wiring pi, and if it doesn't work then it exits the program. Then it initializes the pin, so in this case it's pin 0, which is what we're using on the board, and then this initializes a little counter, which is what you see after the press. This while true loop initializes the loop which runs infinitely until you press Ctrl C, which just shuts down the thread. Then we have this little conditional here. So if digital read, that reads the value from the pin. So if that is 1, which you should only get when the button is pressed, although as I've shown you it does often bug, but if it does work, and then you do only get the value when the button is actually pressed, then it prints out a little message and increments the counter. Then it enters this little loop here. which means that it won't continue until you let go of the button. This means that you don't get lots of values even though you've only actually pressed it once. It's just that you never let go of it. So once it's done that, it delays. I had to put the delay in because otherwise it didn't update quick enough, and then it just printed out hundreds and hundreds of values, which didn't work properly. So now I've shown you the code for that. I hope you have a better understanding of it all.